Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to X's for Show All-Stars Edition. That must mean this is the dope show, and you can check us out, all of us here, at X's for Show. As for me, I'm Nico Action, and I am already having quite a ball this season, and I can't wait to talk to you all about it at Nico Action. It's Nicoaction.
And I'm TK Elemental, and I didn't like that Marilyn Manson reference.
I'm Jonah, and I liked the Marilyn Manson reference.
Thank you.
Suck up.
Happy places at Peak Jonah. And what? And what?
What?
I am. Deal with it.
And that makes me your producer, Kevo, and can't we all just get along? I am just so excited for us to be here. Please remember to like, subscribe, and comment so that we know what you want us to cover in the future. But today we're going to be covering something that is a long time coming, is it not?
Oh, it so is.
Is it?
It is.
Is it?
It is.
Aren't they
feel
pretty
like we've
regularly
been-
scheduled? And didn't we know exactly when this was coming?
Well, it turns out
As
I'm contrarian today. I'm just going for it.
today,
today.
I feel like as Drag Race neophytes, this is the first All-Stars that Nico and I have both been waiting for, and that we've been waiting for since really getting through all of our drag education. We've been talking about this one since last summer, so yeah, in a lot of ways for our little show, it is a long time coming, I would say.
Speaking of a long time coming, ladies and gents,
Now this is the
boys,
real one
girls,
right here.
This is the real gag.
non-binary royals, every one of you, it's time to put on your goddamn crown, because we have real life royalty coming in. We said this is all stars. We said Smash Mouth. Are you happy now? We said Smash Mouth is in the building, and it is time to break out your best Miss Vanjie impression, because everybody's here tonight, baby. We have the Drag Race debut of one of our favorite people in the world. So everybody,
This is a long time coming.
yeah, because I made the lead up take too long. So everybody, please welcome to the stage the one, the only Tori Sheehan.
Hello, hello, hello. The bitch is back.
Ah!
Welcome, welcome.
I'm so excited to be here with you guys. I have been pounding Drag Race since January, trying to get
You're here. You're
And
here.
little
I made
do
it-
people know that Tori is actually developing her own show, Tori Sheehan's RuPaul's Drag Race, in which the seasons of Drag Race compete for Tori's approval. I've seen a sneak preview of this show. It is phenomenal. And, tune in to, I guess our network would have to be LOL. LOL presents Tori
Yeah.
Sheehan's RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah. You guys can be LOL. You can be XIS. It's all the same.
I think
XOX.
ACT somehow, like action
No, I thought that correct.
camera
Oh, I like
team.
that. All right, this is just a brand building session now.
Oh my god, I'm so into it.
No,
So
but it's
what are
true.
your
It's
ideas?
true. This would not be an X's for Show piece of coverage without me revealing that I don't actually know everything. Fun fact: I have pounded through seasons 1 through 14 and through AS 1 through 5, and that's as far as I've gotten because that's as far as I need to get through to today. But we will be continuing on this. So while Jonah gets all of my little live tweets from about
They're
7
my
o'clock at
favorite.
night till about 12:30 at night, sometimes TK gets the live GIF interpretation of what I'm doing.
It's the best.
Now, I want to start with, we have us quite a crew of ladies to take a look at. And I want to roll in with our question of the day, the big question. Let's get this roast a cooking.
Woo!
And that means it is time to, by the way, best roast of all time, definitely Drag Race Secret Celebrity Edition Season 1, best roast in the entire history of the franchise. Don't even know what to say. But this is 8 of the greatest girls in history. This is just straight top to bottom royalty. I think every one of these girls is better than the last until you get back to the first one again and it starts all over. And I want to know, who are you guys most excited about? Who's your number one? Everybody gets, 8 choices, but you got to pick a number one. And for me, I'm going to say that she's doing it sweet and best because she's Nina West. I am a big fan of her brand. She might not be my number one girl, even in this race, but I do look forward to shine and just elevate her brand on air.
Before we got the first 2 episodes, I would have said it was Plastique. And I still love Plastique. She's still very high up for me. She's like the perfect human in every way. She's the most beautiful person alive, regardless of how she's presenting. It's absurd that she exists on this planet. I don't know how to deal with it. But having watched the first 2 episodes, my top queen is Angeria. She's just giving me something fun. Honestly, I really want to say Nina because there's something really fantastic about Nina, but I can't get over how she is just gooning her entire confessional experience. Like every face she makes,
Gooning and baiting.
she is just every face she makes in that confessional is a gooner face. I don't know what is going on. I feel really bad even bringing it up, but it is impossible to handle. And Gottmik's not far behind, by the way. Right here,
And I just want to add to that. One of my favorite things is Nina constantly is having to stand there as Shannel goes, I mean, we're old. And Nina just goes, sure, Jan.
Yeah, it's rough. You can see there. Yeah, and she's like kind of gooning half the time in drag too, but that's like part of drag, so it's fine. But just every confessional look, oh my
God. She said this
And,
was
like,
a Disney reference. I forget which one.
I said on our reveal, I was like, I understand this is not the most flattering image, but I keep trying to get the best one I can that also has her name up, and it's just, I mean. And this is her brand. This is her comedy style. It is what it is, man.
Tori, this is your first time ever weighing in on air with every one of these crazy bitches.
Oh my gosh.
If this were the Kentucky Derby, which one of these Sarah Jessica Parkers is your girl?
So, I mean, I am, it is well known that I am a Vanjie fan. I am a Shannel fan. I love Angeria. I am a Gottmik human to the teeth. If I had to pick who's gonna win this whole thing, for me, it's probably between Roxxxy and Angeria, but I really do think it might be Gottmik, depending on how they do on like comedy and acting and things. That's where I'm feeling right now. But
it also depends on if she summons up the dark god of the bus stop and the pity vote.
It's possible. It's possible. I think Roxxxy is such heavy competition that the only thing that's going to get in her way is herself and any possible meltdowns coming. I think Gottmik is going to be a little too perfect, too immovable in how they're moving forward.
Gorge.
And so I think Angeria might sneak in that win. This might be also the time to crown Vanjie. I don't know. This is a tight group.
You ugly bitch.
But I will say that, I love Nina West. Plastique Tiara gave me a total screaming moment this week. So I love all these girls. I'm easy.
What's not going to be easy is the gentleman below you picking between, because I mean he is a Vanjie, he's a Fangeria, he's a Roxxxy Andrews, he's a.
I bet he picks Jorgeous.
Forgot Mick fan. I don't got it, but where are you at?
For my money.
Yeah.
I am so obsessed with Gottmik. It's not funny. It's really like I could make jokes about it, but like Gottmik is the queen for me. Everything about how she never looks wrong. I don't understand how somebody could be so gorgeous, both in and out of drag. But I look at Gottmik's just makeup talent, and it's just oh, that's the winner. That she has to win. And I hear what you're saying, Tori, about how Gottmik might do in some more comedic or performance challenges. But I think one of the most amazing things was seeing somebody. TK talked about it. I think when we did the reveal or something like that. That watching Gottmik come into the realization of like, oh, I can be funny. Oh, I do kind of know how to act, and like realizing that you do possess these skills. They're kind of deep inside. Not that everybody has that, but it was a really fun storyline to see somebody like come into their own with something that they felt like they didn't know that they could do. So she also has probably one of the tightest snatch games ever. Her Paris Hilton is truthfully probably top 5 like impersonations. It was really astounding.
Well, and didn't she work for Paris Hilton at one point?
Yeah, she's running to Paris Hilton.
So, I mean,
and that was I think to me when I noticed that she didn't know she could be funny, because she didn't realize that insight that she had that few people have, that Paris is lying when she does the high-pitched dumb slut person, and the way she actually is the behind-the-scenes person, that she had that set up ready to go, and got like such a good response out of it. That was when you could see her realize that she had tricks in the bag just from being an LA boy who knows a lot of stuff. And I think that's fun.
Yeah, and all things considered, Gottmik is, I think, technically the most successful former assistant of Paris Hilton. I mean, I can't think of any others who are. Oh, and Violet, who are part of reality show dynasties. But speaking of dynastic power, our little family, we got a voice boy at the bottom, and we got to know what you're thinking. Who is your girl in this? Do you also root for Gottmik, or are you rooting for Roxxxy Andrews? Sorry,
that was the first.
I've been told that it's going to be clocked. It's going to alternate Lainey Kazan and Fergie all season.
I'm not actually going to be able to count it, but just wanted to warn everyone. This is where it started.
I will.
12 minutes, 30 seconds. I am a Gottmik fan. I love Roxxxy. We reference a lot of Roxxxy things regularly in our household, do we not? And I think what really surprises me is how many of these girls I do love. I don't know. I'm so excited for this season. I think everyone is really great. I think the one that I am most surprised, that I am so super stoked to see, other than Plastique, hey, what's up? Angeria. I surprised myself by being so excited, and I love her energy. I think she is so funny. And it's the fact that comedy queens don't always make it to the top that makes me so glad for the structure of this season. So many things make me glad for the structure of this season, but the fact that none of these queens are going home, we get this entire pool of talent for all season, and every challenge we're going to get to see all of them participate. And that's always the saddest thing of seasons of Drag Race, that if somebody goes home before a challenge you wanted to see them in, that was it. Hope for an All-Stars. So this structure in general is making me really excited for everyone. We're all winners.
Well, and on that, we are all winners. But you know what else is kind of crazy? If you were to put Vanjie in the bottom row, then 5 of them could be servers at the Rainforest Cafe, and everybody in the top row is somebody wearing something from Rob Halford's closet. And I literally cannot begin to put my mind together around how 1993 this is. But I'm obsessed.
Well, I love 93. We did a whole episode about 1993. I think we did 2, didn't we? So yeah, I'm down.
Plastique Tiara swallowed in that green open sweater and baggy pants while talking to Rue in the workroom about their paint look. I was like, oh, I have it. This is something that they would have worn on My So-Called Life. It was ridiculous.
Yes, I love that.
Well, I think it's time to bust down some doors, and I'm going to be really gentle with discussing something that I'm really excited to play this game, and we're going to play the game still. It's not going to not happen. But to protect Tori's spoiler interests, because
it's fine.
No. we're not going to talk about who won, but tonight's first major challenge had been first featured in what is obviously the second best season of All Stars, and everything is going to have a lot to live up to in terms of season 7. We got a music challenge in season 7 before we got it here. I want to say that the top 2 being our precious Angeria, who of course won the crown, and Jorgeous, who is the cutest little waifling ever. I do want to say that everybody online and half of the people in this room were fucking blown away that Vanjie was not mentioned a little bit more thoroughly after her glowing critiques. It was very specifically Michelle dove in positivity. How did you guys feel about our top 2? I know that I feel like a little like this should not have been the first challenge, but that's just me. I think the girls needed a little warm-up time.
I like a talent show better as the first
talent show.
I like a
This is
talent show
my
better as
first
the
All
show.
Stars that I didn't have a talent show in a while. And
Yeah,
I was like, I guess they must have given that up. Okay.
I do prefer that. The songs can be weird. So the other thing I'll say, and this is a bit of a tangent, but I think it's good to kind of bring it up and address it because I think it's important for what happens in All Stars. When we do Nobody Goes Home, critique drifts really far away from the negative in a way I sort of prefer, because this is a thing we got into with season 16. Even girls who are fresh, to get on Drag Race, you have to be so good that unless you are clearly kind of a joke casting or like an embarrassing filler where now I'm starting to sympathize for you because that's mean that you are let on, unless you are that girl, you are really talented. And so when you show up and they do a challenge, they do like the lip sync rusical.
Everyone knows you're talking about a mandatory. I'm kidding so hard. I'm kidding so hard.
Well, but like Amanda's a really good example. There were times where the critiques were so harsh and it was like she definitely did the least good. Sure, maybe this is her night to go home. Sure, but the way you're talking is she lost because she was bad and the other girls were good. And what it really is she was the least good. This is a thing I said a lot during that season. If everybody else got a 98 and you got a 96, that's amazing, but you still have the lowest score. So that means you're going home. That's fine. That's how it's supposed to be played. I get why they try and ham up the drama and they've really got to have the haves and have-nots. With All Stars, with a giving season rather than an earning season.
Yes, exactly. That's a part of it too.
Yeah, there's really the stakes on I was the best and she was the worst and I'm better than her are a lot lower. And so the critiques were for this in particular, there were basically no negative critiques. And for I know we can get to it, but the critiques were very, very on the whole positive. And for the next challenge, they were a little bit, there were some like Ross said that he didn't get Shannel's, epaulets for one of her shoulder pads for one of her looks. But like for the most part, they're still. Okay.
But hold on, Ross Matthews, who literally fell asleep 2 seconds into everybody because he's like, I wrote down your first line and I want to read back the lyrics you wrote and sang to me and tell you what they made me think and ignore everything else about your performance. I just thought that was amazing.
Well, so this is kind of where I'm going with it, is everybody got positive critiques. And I actually did think, because some people were so good, other people actually, by comparison, like people who did the "it's me, I'm Jorgeous" type verses, really kind of didn't stand out compared to the people whose verses were like an actual meditation on facing discrimination and rising above. So this was just one of those moments where I noticed that there were no negative critiques, and I actually thought there kind of could have been.
Tori, are you? Hit me.
I've always I don't like competition shows, so this has always been tough for me. This is why I didn't watch for a very long time, because I was like, I don't want competition. I just want to see the pretty and I just want to enjoy.
Well, this is such a perfect live one to start with then.
It really, really is. I think that for me, I've always preferred like the last episode where they're all saying beautiful, wonderful things about them all season. So for me, like having these positive critiques is actually really nice because I think that it's good to hear these things, to hear these people being praised, because I do think that a lot of what I've seen in the fan culture so far, which is very minimal interaction I've had, is that people think they know what they're doing and they're not doing it. And I don't think that that's cool. I think that we end up shitting on a lot of queens that don't deserve it. And I appreciated that we got a lot of positive critiques where we can be like, see, this is why they're here. This is why they were all-stars. This is why they're, even if they don't look as good as the 4 girls next to them, why they're still on top of it, on top of it, on top of it.
I love that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I kind of do miss when Ultimate Queens of all time used to say things like, she just lacks that star quality, that star power. I do sort of miss when queens knew how to punch other queens in the head. But I don't like it coming from message boards or Reddit. Jonah, you had a finger up in the air, like you really, really did care. And you are wagging like you are a red PF flyer, and I gotta know what is happening right now.
I will go in order. My first quick sidebar: Kiki Palmer was one of the best guest judges ever.
Oh my god, and she's wearing my jeans.
Oh my god,
going back,
Kiki
her
Palmer
pointing,
from Scream Resurrection. I love her.
Kiki Palmer from True Jackson VP, literal icon of my childhood. She was everything. She was such a joy. She was gorgeous. She's literal perfection. I really hope she gets to come back. That's number one. Number two, to what you were saying, Tori, there's something about Drag Race fans where they will never do drag, but they will have the most opinions on what they're doing. Granted, that's kind of what we do. Actually, no, we don't sit here and say, well, I could go on Drag Race and I could win. There are fans out there who've never done drag who think they know better, and they think, well, I would have done this, and it's, no, you wouldn't, because you don't do drag. You're not there.
And
so no.
Even the member of our group who has now done drag is not out there going, yeah, now I'm the best, I could beat any of them. No, you have so much more respect for the art form now.
Hi, mask presenting drag king, and I know that this stage is not where I belong. I'm
mask, because you have a mask.
Because I wear a mask. Yeah. That's the big bit.
Yes.
I'm a mask guy in a mask. It's it.
3, to the point, this ties into what TK was saying a little bit, and to your initial question about Vanjie not being in the top. I actually think it's because Vanjie's runway look wasn't the strongest. The judges didn't seem too keen on it. Right? Michelle was the one, and that's where I think we saw a little bit of the negative critique, at least for the first episode, where it was, Vanjie's look was weird. Granted, the runway category was weird because it's specifically signature look, signature scent, but I think everybody just made a scent look. So they might have added the signature part beforehand, but that doesn't make sense because I think the only person who really had a signature look was maybe Angeria and Gottmik. Everybody else was like, I don't know if this is signature. Point being, I actually think the top 4, the 4 queens I think excelled the most in the challenge for me were Jorgeous, Angeria, Plastique, and Vanjie. And Vanjie's runway wasn't as great as the other competitors. So I think between those 3, they kind of just, you pick your 3 favorites. You pick 2. I think it could have gone either way. I think they were all, for my money and my worth, about all equal in terms of combining everything of runway, challenge performance, how they took the critiques, blah, 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 blah. I thought this was a really good challenge. It's very similar, following the exact same vein of All-Star 7, where that first challenge was a room mix, to which doing research I have learned a room mix is different than the girl group challenge.
Bless JoJo for this this absolute incredible research. Also, I can't believe nobody is pointing out that the Hamburglar is just up on this stage hanging out like it's nobody's business. Please continue.
Huxley.
But I think for really my money, I see where this top 2 won. I appreciate that this top 2 won because I do think they were 2 of the strongest competitors of the night. And overall, I think it was a well-deserved win by Angeria. She very much, I think, embodied the campy Whitney Houston. She pulled the handkerchief out. She knew exactly what she was doing. And not that Jorgeous isn't a great performer, but I do think that the way Jorgeous tackles some lip sync sometimes, it's, I gotta do my dance moves. And I don't know if Jorgeous always thinks about what the lip sync sometimes might require, where take a step back, try to do something campy. Try to do something a little more fun.
Well, I mean, you're talking about one of the only people who could be in either cast of Ghostbusters with how much she goes after the ectoplasm.
I was sort of
Go to
bummed.
this episode.
I was really bummed she didn't punch the ghost. I thought we'd at least get it referentially. But I will say I also think that part of it is Jorgeous' storyline in this show is cut to be Jorgeous got so much praise that if she just grew into her drag a little bit, she would be unstoppable and she would be a champion. That was so much of the intro to Jorgeous coming in this episode. And then as the episode goes on, oh my God, Kevo, these are just phenomenal. As the episode goes on, it really is constantly pointing out that she has in fact leveled up. She did spend the time since she was on Drag Race getting better. So maybe, just maybe, she is ready to conquer the world. And I think seeing that build even more, like not seeing her get the first win, but seeing her have to really pull a tough win out might be one of the bigger storylines for the season. Because again, they're not going to have a ton of conflict. Nobody's freaking out about the money. There's no candy type fights happening here. So,
no, but can I just say that how hungry Roxxxy is for this charity money is like me going after a roast beef sandwich. And I just want to say, I think Roxxxy is so in this for taking care of people and protecting people is so cool.
I actually completely disagree. It is, and she's fantastic. I love her charity, but I do think
I love her charity.
I think
Kudos to see you, Mama.
Her art is hilarious. This is Roxy's chance. No friends around, no savior, and I sort of in that same way. I sort of think a producer was like, Angeria, cut Roxxy first, so that we establish really clearly she has nobody here. If she sinks, nobody is saving her on a rhinestone top, and they already made the rhinestone top joke in the second episode. If she does well, it is fully because she earned it, she did it, she deserved it. And that to me is another really huge storyline. So to me, all Roxy's hunger, I really saw, and I respect this. I say this respectfully, not like, why isn't she doing it another way? Her hunger for me is totally like, here I am without a single safety net, feeling my most confident. I'm either doing it this time or I'm not, but I think the thing with Roxxxy is like, she's an Alyssa Edwards. She so doesn't need to win Drag Race because she is every drag queen's favorite drag queen.
She's also the blueprint for so many drag queens.
That's what I'm saying.
I was literally gonna say,
yeah.
Even when she doesn't win, her imitators win.
And that's why I'm kind of like, I would almost rather she not win at all and have her lesson be like, oh, I really did show up as kind of the goddess here. And I do hope she wins. I love her. I would love to see her win. But I'm just saying, like, she has already kind of leapfrogged over what it means to try and win this show.
Also,
I agree. I think...
But I was going to say, Thick Roxy was my favorite Roxy. I wish she had just stayed a little more curvaceous. She was the most beautiful man I've ever seen. Sorry, please continue.
I think that Roxxxy is obviously very caring about the charity that she has. I also think this is a great opportunity for her to come in and dominate and be like, it's for charity.
I get to be a bitch to help.
Yeah, she can like knife someone as much as she wants, and everyone goes, oh, but the charity. Like, so for me, I sure, yeah, great. She is going to be an amazing competition, but I wouldn't paint her up as Mother Teresa just yet, personally. I also think, and I think this has more to do with the second episode lip sync, but I think Ru is giving a lot less importance to athleticism during a lip sync. Personally, I think that she is definitely looking for more emotional attachment, more face attachment, and I think that it's to pre-stop the conversations of, yeah, but Shannel's knees don't do that anymore.
I just want to build on that. I even noticed this is the oldest the dancers around Ru have ever looked, and I think that is so smart. Please give these amazing older looking men who are incredible dancers, whose bodies are still incredible, whose faces still know how to emote, who know how to fill a stage. This is just an older cheating cast of male dancers, and I think it really becomes Ru to be embracing the quality of legends on stage when she herself literally remembers when Jackie Gleason used to say "to the moon" and already had her 9th Emmy.
This was an important part of the show for sure. I think a lot of people are, not just RuPaul, but like a lot of celebrities are sort of having to have a redemption arc around very lazy performances.
I mean,
The fact
I
of the
don't know
matter
what you
is,
mean. She brought her legs out. That's fine by me.
the thing
look at that
is, like,
feet.
she really. It really, like, there was a point at which people were like, well, she's old. She can't do that stuff. She's not old. The dancing, the type of dancing she was doing, like, this was perfect. This was, for one thing, I know a big chunk of it, and, like, we joke about this when it comes to her repartee, but, like, she's not a memory girl. I get why for her, a big problem with the dancing is that I really don't think she can remember all the steps. But, like, she doesn't remember the girl who won's name 2 months later. So it's just her personality. Like,
And
it's
who
not.
are you?
I've seen that clip.
Jinx.
Golden
I
Girls
just-
episode?
Jinx, I just
She
won
has
this
no
season.
idea.
How do you spell that?
So, like, you
Who
know,
would
it's
play her?
It's her personality. It's not, you know, I'm not saying she's infirm. She, like, has trouble with memory. It's just who she is. She has assistants to remember things,
Yeah.
but it's difficult with the dancing. And they kind of tried to play it off as like, well, she's old. She can't dance like that anymore. She's not. She's young. She travels a lot. She works
She
a
looks
ton.
so fracking good.
She's got a ton of
Honestly,
stamina.
it might be because
I'm
she's very
happy.
cold. It's 65 degrees in
It's true.
the studio. She might just be a little cold. Let her
Although
wear
under
her
the-
pants.
Under those lights, it gets quite hot.
She
So
also
I
is
just-
very structured, cinching. She is very
Yeah,
structured.
yeah,
I
yeah.
actually
It's
don't think
also
she can
it's
twist
it's
a
it's
lot.
uncomfortable. Yeah, she is very, you know, and her face can't move. But I do think she was not doing enough. It's not even if she was having trouble. I get that. Like I feel bad, but also it's glaringly obvious when she's on stage doing a number and everything else about the show, like the finale, is big, but her number is just her swaying. It just doesn't look right. It doesn't feel right. And so I really respected that they upped the ante and found a middle zone where, like, clearly she's not moving like Jorgeous, but she did a bunch more than we've ever seen her do. And it raised the bar about all of her numbers and about the production as a whole. I just thought it was I'm glad she sucked it up and did a little bit more because I thought it elevated everything about the night.
You know, when I lock myself in my room at night and I do things when nobody's looking, you know, very Madonna, 1987, get into the groove. I put on an endless loop of karaoke videos. It is literally my most watched thing on YouTube by several thousand views. And karaoke gets me through the day. And I'm bringing it up because Ru is a dancer and Kelly Clarkson is not. And there are Ru numbers that have little more dancing than a karaoke number. And that's not what I come here for. I didn't just come here to dance, but I definitely came here to see a little dancing. This was Ru really saying, no, Mama's still here. Mama's got that Ozempic energy and she's ready to show you what she got. And
She's ready to
they're
show
all
people.
on
She
it.
still got it.
yeah, those skinny little legs, Mama.
RuPaul's got great legs.
Yeah, them gams. Them gams, Gamma. So
I've been sending Jonah a lot of, like, every time she shows up in a short skirt, he just gets a "what?" comment.
I had to tell Tori, yes, there's after a certain point, she enters her like old slutty era where she's
She's
just like
in a
showing
slut.
legs,
I mean-
Gucci dresses. She loves it.
She
they
had a
say the
little
legs are the last
something.
thing to go.
Also, I absolutely live for this Ice Spice wig. I don't know.
Ice, like, her
and
corona wig.
far back. I'm obsessed with it.
I desperately need to. I want to hear every conversation that was had about this.
I also love whoever's doing RuPaul's hair. It gets further back and back each season. They're going.
Yeah.
They love to give her a nice big forehead, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I think because we're living in an age of beautiful foreheads, like, and I mean that really beautifully. Like, there's so many incredible bald women out there just setting trends and establishing new levels of beautiful femininity and masculinity. And I think there is something about that aesthetic that we've grown a little bit more attached to. And for longtime artists like RuPaul, who can afford that weekly opportunity to experiment with look, she's the person who gets to get the credit for trend setting, even if she's maybe a little bit responding to an aesthetic. I think it's really cool. I think it really does show that she has 42 episodes a year, all said and done, to experiment with her look. Nobody's had this much fun on air since Johnny Carson and Cher. So I'm about it. But I do want to ask two other major questions about this episode that are going to bounce us into the next episode. I think it's so weird that there is so much focus on how Nina West is evidently so bad, you should drop a house on this bitch. But she keeps not getting the kind of critique I hope for. They are so worried that Nina West is going to come in and destroy the competition, but she doesn't really seem to get that kind of acknowledgement on the back end. I also think there's a lot to be said about the fact that Shannel is here representing an attitude and a type of drag that hasn't been here in a really long... I mean, I don't want to say something really problematic, but I'm a Heathers and Boogers guy, and I just think it's literally one of the greatest things that's ever been achieved in Drag Race history. And Shannel really represents that girl. Not same season, but same girl. And she's a booger, for the record. And I think she's a Heather, but she acts like she's from that level of disadvantage. She acts like nobody believes in her. Like the booger.
Well, I mean, nobody told her that she's beautiful.
And that's where it's at. Guys, do you think that we can't stop thinking of Shannel as that person who is that girl? Because, like, that is my Shannel. And, like, I'm a Chad and Shannel boy. I'm a Shannel boy. Big fan. But I wonder how much her history colors her ability to perform in a way that maybe made the judges not, or maybe the editors, not give us a very good look at what people think about Shannel on the inside. She's getting a very womp edit, like very funny background noises. I just think she's so much more than that.
I mean, maybe they were prepared for her to come back with villainy, but I doubt that was going to happen. I think she's beyond it now. I think she's literally gone, oh, my blood pressure, I can't do that anymore.
And the other thing is, like, the Vegas is a whole other world, and Shannel is booked and blessed and putting on her own productions.
Mamacita.
This is a little sweetener on her booking fee and for her agents and for the people that make sure that she gets paid. Spending this time on TV will be good for her, but she does not need to be on the show to make a very healthy living where she is from. And if she were, I wouldn't necessarily say the same thing if she were from Texas or Florida or places that have huge drag scenes where girls do great. Vegas is like the third place after New York and LA. Like,
Vegas loves the dolls.
And people put on their own shows. They work. And Shannel was the original. She is the original Vegas girl. Every Vegas girl that came after on Drag Race knows Shannel, dated Shannel, was in shows that Shannel did.
Shopped at the Foot Locker that Shannel clearly works at.
Well, maybe at one point, but now she's doing her own shows and everything. So, like,
Now she's Joe Exotic.
I was like, how do I get in with a Joe Exotic joke right now? Because looking at this.
Yes. She does feel like there's a compound in the works. But for me, that's sort of
Carol.
I think that I'll be interested to see if it is a production thing that she is in on, where we play around with some of her old tropes and, like, does she still need the validation? Is she still kind of demanding it, or is she bringing it for herself? Or she's a dud. I don't think she will be, but, like, it's not necessarily her fault, but if they don't know how to use what they have, it's just going to ultimately be a wasted opportunity.
I hear what you're saying. I felt like, especially for the first episode, Shannel didn't really get a lot of screen time for fun. I mean, she did fall. But she also produced it. She was catching her light. She knew where to look. She knew where her camera was. But like,
Well,
it also
and
just
I do want to agree. She fell in a. Once she knew she was falling, she made it a stage moment.
yeah, because she's an icon, a legend. She's a moment.
And also, she literally just stepped backwards further than she thought. Like there was no like the toe catching, so like her whole body is shifting. Like she made a very clean step off the stage. As someone who has pulled actors out of a moat before, yes, that was the cleanest you could fall off the stage.
I also really love her sneakers. Mama knows how to like ensemble.
But I really hope that Shannel is able to not even fight herself in the competition, because she did great in season 1. She did great in All Stars 1.
Chad did do great in All Stars.
All Stars is actually where my opinion of Shannel went lower, because next to Chad she dimmed, and I was very sad because I really like Shannel.
But more importantly, this is all promo for her Christmas party, for her giant Christmas house that they let us do a virtual tour of.
Tori has decorated my Christmas tree for my family while my back was injured. Tori knows what Christmas means to this family. Jonah, I'm not trying to put you on blast, but Jonah, who by the way has one of the most incredible mothers in the history of moms, just because we're talking about mamas. Jonah's mom loves Christmas, and my dream is to love Christmas like Jonah's mama.
My mother literally has Hallmark movies taped on her DVR so she can watch them year round.
And I think your mama and you should call Shannel and be like, can you do a 2-for-1 special? Can you
maybe Shannel's her neighbor?
Costume?
She's out in Vegas.
Oh my god, I want to see Mirage do a Christmas show. Hey, I'm kind of a bitchy elf.
Where does it get that reference?
You know, I found out today. I found out today my 95-year-old grandmother has seen some of the episodes of RuPaul's Drag Race, which was a very funny conversation. But
what?
I don't know. I said, there's this woman. She's called RuPaul. She's and she goes, oh, I know her. And I was like, okay. And she's like, I've seen some of that show. And I was like, oh. She's like, they're great. I was like, all right. Okay.
Hey, love wins.
But my mother I could probably hook my mother in watching this show just for Shannel's Christmas tour that we got for 35 seconds. I swear to you.
My dad too. I'm with you. Seriously.
Unbelievable.
But I like, you don't even know how we even want to say it or bring this up, because Kevo did such an amazing job with making the edit. But when I was grabbing photos and they were doing the quads, Shannel is missing from the quads. That's not the original photo.
We had to make this. By all means, bring it up, because I am.
That was actually Roxxxy twice, and that is a huge editing error that I'm surprised nobody caught, and that is kind of disrespectful to one of the competitors.
Thank you.
And I don't know if it was brought to her attention. If someone brings it to her attention, that I'd be really pressed at World of Wonder right now. It was really just kind of upsetting. I'm not saying that Shannel deserves the world, every single bouquet, every single flower, but like, show your talent some respect. Also, I need to pick a big gripe with whoever's editing, not just for this. Whoever is doing the runway, I don't know if it's all the same editing team, but some cigarette out there is doing it. I'm talking to you. Stop doing this thing where it's a side-by-side of the exact same moment with a slightly different camera.
Yeah.
It is really jarring that so much of the runway and showing these outfits is literally, it's slightly farther back, slightly farther forward, but it's like almost frame by frame matched. It's not good. I don't know if this is how it's always.
Tommy Wiseau shit.
I don't know if I'm just noticing it now.
I want to say, as the talking cigarette that does our graphics,
oh, burn, baby, burn.
Mistakes do happen.
They do.
And absolutely, life is rough, and we're not coming for mistakes. If someone is out there already flogging themselves for this, as I often do for my mistakes, please, it is rough, but please be mindful because, yeah, fans are out there noticing this. It is kind of disrespectful. If you weren't paying attention, yeah, it is disrespectful. You should have been paying attention. We did make this graphic. Very proud of the work that we do. And we did it because I actually didn't notice as part of the thing, but I don't get paid to notice for the show. Jonah pointed it out, and so I made it because exactly, yes, these graphics and the visuals are significant.
And I do want to say that we are forgiving of mistakes. For instance, I'm going to forgive Vanjie for skinning 17 different lizards to make that outfit.
She did not skin lizards. She skinned fake lizards. She's working for the ASPCA.
Yeah, there's something about the fact that she shows up looking like Prince, and she's like, listen, my name is a symbol. I love animals. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to save the animals.
I'm going to show some of y'all what not to do.
I believe in her.
I'm going to say something really interesting.
No.
I don't think I care for Vanjie the drag queen quite as much as I care for Vanjie the television personality. I think sometimes
such good TV.
I think sometimes she is purposely, and I mean it. I'm a Jersey Shore boy. I'm a Jersey Shore boy, so leave me the fuck alone. But sometimes she looks like a purposeful kind of trashy that I don't identify with because my trash is just a different shade of shit, and so I don't identify.
She's my trash.
She is. I'm telling you
trash.
this right now. She is Long Island trash, and I am Jersey Shore trash.
Yeah. I don't deal with Jersey Shore trash. I like to outsource.
Oh, you North Jersey bitch. Oh.
Hey, whoa. We're central. We're not recognized by the tourism board yet, but we're central. I also just want to say one quick thing before we move on that I lost my shit when I realized that Plastique Tiara was cosplaying as Sailor Star Healer in the musical number. It was very exciting for me, and I'm glad I got to share that with Jonah, who also would understand the reference.
I lost my mind when I realized. When my brain hit it, I was done for life.
Yeah, and I'll bring up.
It's gorgeous.
Oh, so
gorgeous.
Good. All right. Oh, also, I don't know how God is even talking this season. When, he's going to, like, out of drag, he's going to be sitting and going, gorge, and Jorgeous is going to be like, yes? And then in drag, she's going to be like, gorge, and George is gonna be like, yes, and it's just going to be this endless cycle of aloha. When you say aloha, does it start the conversation again? Aloha. Anyway, Miss Congeniality is the best movie ever made, and I want to ding over into episode.
Someone should make a musical.
2. Someone should. Hey, that's a great idea. You're the smartest person I've ever met. Episode 2. I want to talk about balls. Balls. Here is the thing about balls. I genuinely think they need to be retired from the regular seasons because not every queen has this level of skill. And sometimes some of the girls are not ready to achieve status outside of their ability, outside of their I don't want to say ability because ability is a disgusting word and that I don't mean. Outside of their come with skill set. A ball is part of pageant culture, and it's a very specific set of skills. It is a fashion idea. It is a story idea. It is a movement idea. And what this episode gave me was 8 girls who gave me 3 looks that even when I genuinely didn't like some of them, hey, Nina, girl, I love you so much, but you also did not like some of them. Every one of these girls reminded me why balls are a special thing for people to express art, and it can be unfair to ask somebody to express an art that they're not prepared to. And I really think All Stars stepped the game up this week in a very cool way that made it special.
I want to challenge a little bit only insofar
Oh, you're so good! I'm kidding.
Balls are also a big part of ball culture.
Yes.
And they're a big part of cultures where people without a lot of financial means come up with really incredible creative ways to show and walk and impress judges. The problem is with Drag Race. The problem is with the insane way that Drag Race.
You're right. That is the lens I meant to say that through. Thank you for reminding me that this is
but we're
one
getting
lens.
to the same thing, because the fact of the matter is, it is what happens. A girl, the one we always go to this example because it's just so stark in my mind. Chi-Chi DeVayne, being told, rest in peace, being told that she doesn't look good, her saying, I don't have the money, and Michelle saying, you don't need money, which was a lie, because somebody
got bodyguard money.
A lot of times, and Ru will say something like, you just have to make it yours, you have to rhinestone the hell out of it, which I think is true. That is a big thing.
There's
You
some
do have
glitter.
to get glitter everywhere. You do
guess
have to
H&M is
make it
fine.
your own and show that you put in work and be creative. But the fact of the matter is that even when girls do that, they are often told it looks cheap, and that's just...
Where are
that
your
is-
plastique wings?
Yeah, it's 8 different things happening. It's production, it's celebrity judges that don't really know the current value of $1 for real people. There's so
$8
much
for a banana.
there's so much going on that just equates with girls in the main seasons who are coming from not a ton of money, not being able to show, but their looks are creative and they can show at balls. They just are having trouble in the RuPaul's Drag Race ball situation. So there's something there that, you're right, does need to change. One thing we also know about All-Stars balls is that the girls get a stipend
Yes.
for coming on. So
This is called
literally,
All-Stars.
there you go. There's another product right there. So they literally, on top of the fact that they're all successful and have money and can spend money on drag, they also get money specifically for these looks. So of course they're going to show better, and I love that. That makes me so happy that everybody gets the opportunity to come with their best and with money set aside specifically for it. It does make me yearn for 2 things. One, better judging of the regular season balls. Also, like, maybe it's time to stipend the girls who come in, like, even like just for the ball challenge, to give girls stipends just for the ball challenge in regular season, specifically to do what you said and not let anybody show up and get judged for essentially not having a high quality money enough look.
First of all, go back to the Tom of Finland image. Everybody needs to understand that I was about 14 years old and literally decided this was a pink. This was my personality. Tom of
It's
Finland.
taken a long while
literally-
to get here, but we found it. Yep.
It's literally my whole self. It's unbelievable. But baggy. I do want to say, to your point, one of the things that I think is so central to the conversation of what these girls are expected to be able to perform is they're each able to kind of negotiate with their own designers. And I don't necessarily want to speak on behalf of having been lucky enough to have worked with a designer who at least a dozen girls have shown work from, but I think maybe, I'm not going to drop names because it's weird, but 10 Years Clothing. I think if you're going to do these balls, maybe you have, and we've brought you designers, and maybe these incredible designers come in and they do a pattern on a tablet and it gets printed on a dress. But one of the things that I think is so unfair is some of these girls, they're brilliant, but they're not designers, or they're brilliant, but they're not sewers. I say sewers and not seamstresses. And I even kind of stammered on it because, like, a seamstress is a trained profession and a sewer is something you do, like
Hobbyist.
Yes, hobbyist. Thank you so much, because I wanted a word that did not mean anything offensive, because even when these
Sisters.
seam sisters, sestras. God, and I swear to God, this is only for TK and Kebo right now, but guys, please hear me out. Plain Jane in yellow jackets.
I can't. I'm scared.
Tori, I can't wait for you to be Play Jane.
Listen,
I hear.
I just really thought that
We've known Plain James.
Tori, very personally, I want to just say that I specifically thought that Roxxxy Andrews, I am frustrated because some of her designing was a little plebeian. Like Cry Me a River told me love was too plebeian. Like not like this plebe. Like common design ideas. Some of her design didn't reach for the stars, but her construction was unparalleled. And she still found time to help a lot of people. I just think Roxxxy Andrews gets a lot of respect for being an amazing performer, but I don't think she always gets respect for being a creative. And I just want to say that I thought there was a lot of really cool technical stuff behind the scenes, wig reveal.
I will be the first person to say that I don't think Roxy's all that great, but I give her mad props for constructing things. I think there should be more conversations about how maybe we should be saying, no, you can't work with designers. Make your own stuff or figure it out.
Love it.
I hear what you're saying. A lot of grassroots drag starts from people kind of having to scrounge to make their own stuff. That's in the deepest, darkest corners of where drag got its start. It's kind of what it was. You pulled together, you figured out, you made it work. But it's more specifically like a drag race thing to be working with designers. Not every local queen is working with designers. Some are, and that's great. That depends on your connections, where you are, whatever. Some queens, because of the location, have to make it work, have to learn how to sew and make their own stuff, because otherwise they wouldn't have anything. But there are some queens who are in metropolitan areas that don't want to learn how to sew, and that's fine. Just also understanding that one of the most exciting things about Drag Race is people who do get to make their own stuff and get to showcase. Like this outfit from Roxxxy, absolutely incredible and stunning. And it's just very unfortunate that Gottmik walked right after her.
Oh.
They did Roxxxy very dirty this episode by making her walk right before Gottmik. Because Gottmik is someone who a lot of people had a lot of contention about their ball win. At the time, I really understood why they won. I think a lot of it, maybe not so much the outfit, but the styling was really incredible for how Gottmik was very fashion forward for the time of season 13. But this ball package from Gottmik was breathtaking,
unreal,
like mind-numbing almost.
I mean, walking out in that insane Grace Jones inspired piece, just like new levels.
The purple.
It's she, and oh my god, her face is so gorgeous. It's like, yes, I understand she's a makeup artist, but like it's still perfect. Like, this is perfection.
It could be her job, but it's still amazing.
And Plastique was another one who I think, Michelle's face said it all. I'm surprised he was able to move that much, but I was really blown away by this person's just. Plastique was somebody who on season 11 I really enjoyed, and because I even though now I'm 27, I latch on to a lot of the queens who are younger or like closer to my age. So when I was watching it, Plastique was closer to my age, so I was like, I latched on to her, and she was someone who was like, she just needs I could tell this is a really phenomenal performer and a talented drag queen, just might not understand how it always comes across on TV, how it always comes across on camera. And I think she's somebody who those years of being booked, blessed, being the literal queen of TikTok, I think kind of showcased really well. Like, oh, no, she's got it. She can have this in the bag. She's always had it. But now that she had the time and the money, she can do it. I think overall as a whole, it was a pretty successful ball. There are plenty of times when there's a number of people that there are looks where I'm like, oh, I don't know if I really like this. This is not good. Ooh. But I think as a baseline was pretty successful.
Personally, I just came off of season 14. I actually watched the reunion and the finale this morning before watching this. I have a small problem with dolls walking in things that have walked through other people. A JLo dress, a Versace runway dress. I just think that it's, sure, work with designers, whatever, but don't pull straight from the runway. I just don't. That's not for that. I don't like it, but that's me.
Well, that's fair. I think maybe in your mind, a sentiment that I know a lot of people echo is, make it drag, make it your own.
Yeah.
You wearing something straight off the runway and you looking gorgeous is phenomenal. And yes, that is drag. All drag is valid. but sometimes you
Even
want
my
to
cute
see
little mask.
the unique take. Also, Vanjie and Mick being little chaos goblins running around outside was one of the most entertaining things I've ever seen. Vanjie vandalizing, like
Vandalized.
every boy in middle school
She
drawing
just
a dick on.
graffitied more.
Yeah.
Yep. It was really great.
I just want to say,
and
you
then-
can always kind of tell a person's tagging style by how they draw the dick, where they put the balls, or how they put the curve. Like, everybody's got that style of how they learned how to do it.
Or if they
It looks
had
like a
hair or
rocket.
not.
Oh, yeah, they do the 3 hairs on the side. Yep.
Kevy, can you go to the picture of Vanjie just going like this before the lip sync?
Oh my god, yes, I love that one, and
Like-
I want to use this all the time now.
She's just so unhinged, but like she's genuinely, like Vanjie. To what Nico is saying, Vanjie is like a television person. Is like, I'm surprised this person wasn't on camera beforehand because she's so good at TV. It's insane. But she's also like, it genuinely comes across like she's there to have a good time and make it the best show. Like in the first lip sync where she was like, "Do you want my jacket? Do you want the coat?" It was really sweet. And she's just somebody who's just so entertaining. It's.
I also just want to say that both runners-up gave incredible performances. Jorgeous did a great job dancing the night away. And Plastique lost to Gottmik serving exquisite face. Gottmik gave Gottmik. And it was one of those things where, like, it's not that Plastique didn't give, but their performance styles are very different. And this sort of almost kabuki face, the extremity of facial performance that Gottmik was delivering, contrasted with Plastique's incredible, breathtaking aerobic gymnastics, which unfortunately, just by virtue of how many people do them, show up a little bit more often, and Gottmik's interpretation of the song. I just want to say that neither person who didn't get them scissors didn't deserve them, and I'm glad that all 4 people got badges. And here to the girls who are so talented they instill fear, Roxxxy and Angeria. It's all in all a very good situation.
For sure.
How do you guys feel about Plastique coming in, second when that's nothing she's ever experienced on social media?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it made sense. I think the other thing is like Plastique as a House of Edwards girl falls into a trap that they all fall into, including Alyssa, when they're earlier on in their careers, and you just forget to not be serious at times where it is your only option. This was not a song that you could perform any other way but unseriously. And Gottmik was kind of an unserious dude who took his drag very seriously and got so far in the show by immediately realizing that he had to loosen up in drag and always work with the jokes. And that's how, we got the phenomenal Snatch Game, the phenomenal roast, and, she just became the comedy queen of that season in some ways. And so this lip sync, the only thing you could do is not play it serious. And Plastique gave a really, again, I think Tori, you pointed out, athletic performances are great. But
very, very literal.
they're very literal. They're also very safe. If you're doing a Dua Lipa song, of course, cartwheel until you are bleeding from your fingers and
There's
toes.
a pencil sharpener.
Come on. But this was not a number that you could do any of that to. And Plastique really danced her little heart out and was very athletic. And I think ultimately it was a very clear, just Gottmik got it and had fun with it. And that's what you needed. And Yeah, I mean, these are the types of things, because like, again, nobody's doing badly. It's just how does the person do the best each week is the fun of this season.
Yeah, if I can notice that her face is not doing is very internal in the 3-second shots that we get before it cuts to another thing.
There's some Slumdog Millionaire editing.
It's been like that for a long time, buddy. I noticed in like season 11, I was like, unless Rue's on camera, you don't get more than 3 seconds, and Rue gets 7.
This is some sloppy action editing.
Ooh. But yeah, so I definitely felt that Plastique was being very internalized and very thinky and very where's the next great moment for me to pull something out kind of thing, as opposed to really living in it.
Speaking of living in it, I have loved our talk of these first 2 episodes, and I like to leave us at least 10-15 minutes to wrap up, because we all had so many feels. So, I want to start with you, Tori, and everybody please jump in and tell Tori how incredibly right she is as she gives her feels.
As we often do. We really do.
Oh, agreed. And if you don't agree with her, well, you can absolutely pull a RuPaul and jump right off of judging and hosting this show, Australia. So, Tori, this was your first 2 live episodes. This was 2 live crew. This literally made a thing go right. And I would love to know how you felt about this ultimate throwback to some incredible queens and this greatest hits playlist of Drag Race royalty.
It was just so fun for me because I had been enjoying for a while. Like, I would watch a regular season, then I get a Drag Race, and I get to remember my phase, and I go back to a regular season and find new girls. But in my effort to get here, I had to stop watching the All-Stars. So I've just been dealing with a constant new group of 14 girls every week, because it takes me about a week to get through the whole show and the Untucks. And I was just so happy to see people I knew and people I loved and people where I could very definitively say, I remember you at this point, and now you're at this point, and I'm so glad that there's like crazy amounts of space between them. I'm so excited to see these girls get to show up and show out. I'm excited that I get more Shannel in my life. I'm just amped. I think I don't have like a single dud among these for me. Like, I guess Plastique might be the closest, but I just think she's gorgeous. So like, I don't mind. Like, I think she's amazing. So they really, this is a out of the park home run for me on the casting this season. I'm excited to see if the cliques or the pairings, I'll say, the little pairings that have happened, if they will start to go against each other. I think we might get some excitement out of Shannel if Vanjie says something a little that gets under her skin. But I think it's going to be fun, and I'm kind of sad we're only getting 8 episodes now. Why do we have to tie it to the number of girls? We got time. What else are we doing this summer?
Well, and I want to ask you, which girl do you think goes home next week? None, it's for charity. I want.
If you had to pick a girl to go home from this week, who would it be?
Ross, because it really felt like he phoned in the homework. I don't have any filler queens this season, so it's really hard to tell.
It probably would have to be Nina.
Yeah, she hasn't done a whole lot, but I'm in it for the season for her.
Yeah. I love her, but like, if anybody got anything close to bad critiques, it was her. Yeah. And I think like I loved where she was going with that paint look. But that whole thing is really difficult to pull off. You see people whose whole lives are creating real products that look animated, like whether it's cake or dresses. Like, there's people whose entire career, like Shannel building her Christmas museum, is just making, paint realistic
Christmas
objects.
mausoleum.
I think she could have gone further into the pop art of it all. I think she would have found the very like basic colors, black outlines. I think if she had gone further into pop art, she probably could have pulled off something. Even with this, even just like drawing lines around it, around the circles or something with a thick black line,
the halo,
change the corset, like you're good to go.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, like if somebody had to have been said to have done the worst, I think it's her. But I also think I'm excited to see, because I believe next episode is Snatch Game.
And they were no. Hold on. Watch your forked, wicked fucking tongue, because it is Snatch Game of Love.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we gotta downgrade the excitement by like a 0.3.
Yeah.
So more.
Although who knows, with a great group of girls.
Yeah. Hey, I got my favorite ever Snatch Game All-Stars character.
Yeah.
From a Snatch Game of, I guess not anymore.
Yeah.
Oh no, it is from a Snatch Game of Love, because I was gonna say that Flava Flav was usurped by Shirley Temple, but I think
there you go. Either way, yeah. And I mean, I think Shirley Temple's a great example, because again, that season. Well, anyway, I think I'm excited to see, and I think this could be a really big one for Nina.
All right, Tori, since you're new to our All-Star Drag Race Jam, where can everybody find you on the interwebs? And how can... no, that's the same thing. I was going to say, and how can they find you on the interwebs? Where can everybody find you on the interwebs?
You can find me on the interwebs at SM Tori. That's Tori with an I. And you can find me on this great network. You can find me you can find my work at kidriotcomics.com. And yeah, I'll be here back every week, being the gray-haired visage to Nico's bald RuPaul. It's gonna be great.
Back again.
Can't love it.
You can have Carson, bitch.
Oh,
I was gonna ask who everybody is, because I figured Camo was already sitting pretty in the Michelle Visage role. So
I like to fancy myself a Rue, but that's our new sign-off question. Terrific. So Tori, you fancy yourself a Michelle, and there's room for every role for everybody. So if everybody wants to be a Rue, please, you're all my Rues with me.
I want to be Michelle when I grow up.
I want you to be famous. I want you to drive cars. I want
her outfits. Her wig budget.
Her wig budget. And I want Shannel's very green anti-Michelle Viper cosplay. Jonah.
And that ass.
Oh, and that ass. Jonah, tell me, girl you're rooting for, where can everybody find you, and which judge do you fancy yourself? Are you a Merle?
First off, I'd be Lonnie Love, because they're both electrical engineers.
Yeah.
Bless.
That's number one. Number two, me be Merle. How dare you? Come on the show.
In fairness, I'm the Merle. Let's be real.
Queen I'm rooting for overall, Gottmik. Followed closely by Plastique, but I cannot say next week. I would be remiss / really excited to see Nina pick up a win. That would make me very excited. She kind of has it in the bag with this group, so unless something bad happens, I'm manifesting she's one of the winners. Overall, I'm really excited for this season. I think it's going to be a joy, a blast, and a laugh and a hoot. You want to follow me, you want to hear my thoughts, opinions, you want to reach out, you can at Geek Jonah, or everywhere you can find a handle.
I'd love to get a handle on more of your thoughts of Drag Race, so I'm going to keep tuning in to hear you and Tori all season long. But just below you, but never beneath you, Kevo, I am so excited to hear your queen, your sign-off, and your judge.
I've been sitting here in the corner quietly because there was something that I specifically got a round of screenshots for that I wanted to make a moment of before I did my sign off, and I found it just in the nick of time. So the Nico of time. Thank you, Nikos. It was specifically, I really enjoyed the hell out of this moment where Miss Vanjie's outfit attacked everyone in the workroom. I worked really hard at getting screenshots of and Roxxy's extreme reaction to it and everything, and the instant replay where they showed you where they were, Nina reacting, chaos. right away. So thank goodness this is for charity. Because if it wasn't, the fact that immediately there is chaos here. Love it though. Really excited for this season. Which judge am I? I mean, yeah, Michelle, I guess. I'm just going to stick with Michelle. Michelle, or possibly, I probably am more like the Carson, let's be real. And I can live with that. And you can find me over in the socials at Kevoreally. That's KEVOREALLY. Teak, where can the folks find you? Any sign-off thoughts? What judge are you? Etc. etc. etc.
Also, this is for TK, but anybody can chime in. If you don't feel like your judge is valid, by all means, tell me you're a member of the pit crew.
Oh, that's very
I don't
kind
know
of
their
you.
names. I don't even look at them.
That that would give me the
faces.
opportunity to say Sean.
So,
Jonah stole Lonnie Love from me. I was like, I'm safe. I'm gonna say Lonnie Love. I'm gonna kill it. And Jonah immediately ripped that out from under me. So I guess it's Nicole Byer. I'm Nicole Byer. And that feels correct and great. So, in the end, it all worked out. But yeah, if I was a pit crew member, I would be Sean. I'm probably dealing drugs as we speak.
But you got that paper, baby.
There you go. I think I'm still Team Angie. But again, it can really change. Snatch Game is a big turning point. I'll be fascinated to see. And if you want to talk to me about all this, you find me online at TK Elemental. Nico, where do they find you? Who the hell are you? And who are you rooting for?
If you watch our first ever video, I said Plastique. If you watch our second video about the season, I said, I think Roxxxy. If you watch this video, no, I said Angeria last video. If you watch this video, I said Nina. We're going to cover this at least 7 more times, so I'll get to say all the girls before we're done. But this time I'll say Roxxxy. I'm a little bit Rue and a little bit Bryce. You know what I mean? It's always Speedos and wigs, But if you want to follow me, check out my music and more. That's at Nico Action and ICOACTION. And add MUSIC. I don't practice spelling that really fast. That's a little slower. I'll work on that. But until then, there's 3 things you could do for us that Kevo already asked you to do. And if you want to use your incredible detective skills, you may remember them from a little bit earlier in the episode. They were like, comment, and subscribe, but I'm pretty sure you're used to hearing every channel say there's 3 things. However, we have 3 things that we like to say to you because it means a whole lot to us. And there are 3 things we'd like you to do for us, for yourselves. Number 1, we'd like to see you guys stay safe. It's a crazy, spooky world out there, and not everybody has these drag queens to save them all the time. Number 2, we want to see you guys be brave. And number 3, evolve daily. I've been switching the first 2 up, so I'm trying to make sure I hit them in the right order. So that's stay safe, be brave, evolve daily, and we can't wait to see you guys on the flip. So stay tuned, and we'll see you on Wednesday.